my channel. Hello if you're new, and if you are new, hello, my name is Ashlyn and I'm so glad that you're here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys all the books that I read this month, all the books that I loved this month, all the books that I hated this month. I have never read this many books before in a month, so I'm feeling very proud of myself right now. It probably doesn't seem like that much to a lot of people, but I really started reading again this fall. I started picking it back up again and absolutely loving reading again. Seeing now how many books I'm reading in a month, it just makes me so happy. I just wanted to say that. None of these are in chronological order. I'm just gonna randomly pick a book and start talking about it. The first book that I want to talk about with you guys is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Oh my gosh. If you guys saw my 24-hour readathon, you probably saw my review in that video. This book is a 5-star read for so many people for a reason. It's amazing. This is a YA thriller mystery. It's so great having a really good read under your belt at the beginning of the month. It just sets the tone for the rest of the month. I rated this one 5 stars, of course. It was insanely good. It's about this girl named Pip who, I believe she's a senior in high school doing her capstone project, which is basically a project that seniors have to do where you pick a topic and that's what your project's on. So she decides to do her project on a murder that took place a few years prior. And while she is doing her research for this project, she really starts digging deep into the murder. The girl who got murdered, her name is Andy. And when she was murdered, her boyfriend soon after was found dead as well. The town pretty much just came to a conclusion that he was the one who did it. They didn't really investigate it. They just were like, oh, well, he probably felt so much guilt that he ended his life because he took her life. And yeah, and Pip is like, no, she's really one of the only people in the town that's like, that just doesn't sit right with me. It seems like there's more to the story and that the boyfriend is innocent. So with all that being said, she's digging deep into this murder case and it's crazy. Let me just say, it is freaking crazy. I have literally never been so wrong in my life. Every time I thought I knew what the answer was gonna be, it just kept getting crazier. The plot twists were twisting. That's one thing I will say too, is this book grabbed my attention from the very beginning. Literally from the first page, I was hooked. This is one of my favorite books ever. I'm so happy that I finally read it this month. It was so worth it. Now moving on to Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm. I am currently reading the third book, which is, I don't even remember what the third one's called. Wait, what's the third one called? The third one is called Ruin and Rising. I have started it, but I didn't finish it in time for the month. Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm. Wow. Okay, this was a roller coaster. It's a YA fantasy, and you may have heard of Shadow and Bone. It's a Netflix show, but also it's like really big here on BookTube. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about what the first book is about. So it's about this girl named Alina. She grew up an orphan, and as a young adult, she is in the First Army, which in this world, there's the First Army and then the Second Army. And the Second Army is the Grisha. The First Army are kind of just like ungifted people. I don't know the correct term. It's basically just like your average Joe person. If they aren't Grisha, then they're going into this First Army. I always get the First Army and Second Army mixed up. I always think it's the other way around. There's something called the Fold in this world, and if you guys read it, you'll learn way more about it, but it's basically a very dangerous place where there are Volcra, and they're basically these huge like pterodactyls, I guess. They eat people, and sometimes they take treks across this fold, and so Alina and her group, like her military group, they have to take a trek across the fold. And her friend Mal, which is a childhood friend of hers who also was an orphan, they're going across the fold together. I'm so sorry, I feel like I'm talking really fast. Anyway, so they have to survive this trek across the fold, but then she finds out that she has some unknown magic and power, and she's not supposed to have power because she's not Grisha, but she does have power. So that sets up the whole series. And so then they kind of realize, hey, like, we could use your power to destroy the fold. You see? Don't worry, that's all the stuff that's on the back of the book, so I didn't give anything away. Okay, first book. listen, you guys, listen. If you saw my day in the life, you saw I was struggling at the beginning of reading this book, but then it got so much better. You have to get through this one to get to this one. This one is so good. I've seen so many 50-50 reviews on this book. Some people love it, some people hate it. The only thing I liked about it was the ending, but even then it wasn't hitting for me. It was good, but I wasn't obsessed with it. I would give this one probably 2.5 stars. I didn't hate it because I continued to read it. I was not feeling the romance. It's really hard to read from Alina's point of view because she is a very frustrating character. It wasn't that bad. I was just really frustrated with the choices that she made and how immature she was. That was frustrating, but if you can get past this one and get on to Siege and Storm, completely different night and day from Shadow and Bone. This one was so hard to get into. This one was so good. I felt like the prose was better and I just liked the direction that the story was going and so much more. I actually could not take my eyes off of it. I read this in like 2 days. It was such an easy read. It was so good. There's some new characters that are introduced in this one. Holy crap. I love these characters so much more than the first one. Also, I was really disappointed in the audiobook. I know a lot of people like the audiobook, but I hated it. I would not recommend. Whenever I was reading Mal's point of view in these books, whenever I was just reading it, I really liked him. I felt like I was making him out in my head to be a likable character, and I feel like that's how the author was making him too. On the audio version though, the narrator was making him super snarky, so all of his comments, she kind of put in a little attitude, and I just hated it because it made me think poorly of Mal, and I know that Mal is a good character. I would not say come for Alina and her love triangle. I don't even know what it is, to be honest, but if that is what you're coming into this series for, I will say you will probably be very disappointed. The romance was not hitting. I'd probably give Siege and Storm 4 stars. I absolutely loved it, and I would absolutely recommend it to anyone. It was really good. Next we have Better Than the Movies. Oh my gosh, I started this book at the end of my 24-hour readathon. This book was so cute. This is a romance and oh my gosh, this was adorable. This book is by Lynn Painter. My first Lynn Painter book that I read was The Do-Over. I didn't love that book. It was still really cute. I liked Better Than the Movies so much more. I totally see why this is such a popular book. One of my favorite aspects of this book is at the beginning of every chapter, she has a cute quote from different rom-com movies. This is kind of what the quotes look like at the beginning of the chapters. It's super cute and it actually makes me want to go watch some of these movies. Liz Buxbaum, she has my heart. She's absolutely adorable. Liz is a high schooler who is struggling to enjoy her senior year without her mom, who passed away when she was younger, and she feels like that she can't really enjoy these big events her senior year because her mom's not there, which of course this causes a lot of miscommunication and tension between some of the side characters because she is being very distant and kind of pushing them off, and so they just think that she's making excuses, pushing them to the side, and really she's struggling because she misses her mom. She is the cutest hopeless romantic. Her and her mom used to watch rom-coms all the time growing up. This is definitely a book for Swifties. There are so many Taylor Swift song references in this book. There's actually a playlist at the end of the book as well of all the songs that were mentioned throughout the book. And so she goes into cahoots with her neighbor, who is also her enemy. They go into cahoots so that she can try and win the boy that she's been in love with since she was like a child. I think I give this one 4.5 stars. It was really cute and I loved it. This one's gonna be brief. Kisses and Croissants. I really did not like this book. I can't remember the rating that I gave it in the 24-hour readathon, but with some thought, I would probably end up giving this one 2 stars. I did not enjoy it. I really had to push myself to try and read it. I really wanted to love this story. The cover is so cute, and I have been eyeing this one for such a long time. It's been on my radar for forever. Then when I finally picked it up, I did not like it. It was so hard to get into. I did not like the romance that much in it. I thought it was just like, it was all right. This is about an American named Mia who goes to France for ballet school, but it's like a prestigious ballet school. And while she's there, she of course finds love. There is a side story, kind of like a quest that they go on throughout this book. I could care less about it. I did not care about this quest. I guess towards the end, the romance was really cute, and there's a huge plot twist that happens at the end that I did not see coming. I think because of that plot twist at the end, that's what made me want to raise it to like a 3-star, but just sitting on it and thinking about it throughout the month, I still think I would give it like 2 stars, maybe 2.5, because the ending was good. Next up, we have the Inheritance Game series. I am so proud of the tabbing on this one. That is so beautiful. I read the Inheritance Games, the Hawthorne Legacy, and the Final Gambit. Oh my gosh, just thinking about this series again makes me so sad. I just loved this series so much, and although it ended at a good spot in a good place, I just did not want to say goodbye. This series is a YA mystery thriller. Oh my gosh, this series is crazy. It's crazy. I did do a reading vlog to this series, so if you want me to go more into detail, you can click on that video. Plot twists were unreal. They did not disappoint. I thought I knew what was happening. No, I didn't. Not at all. Not even close. At one point, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going along for the ride. I'm not even gonna try to guess the riddles or the games anymore because I know I'm wrong. This series is about a girl named Avery who basically inherits a billionaire's inheritance, and she has no idea who this guy is. She has never met him before, never heard of him before, but the only catch is that she has to fly to his estate to receive the money and then to like actually hear the will read out loud. So she goes to the estate and finds out that she has to stay there for an entire year before she can receive the money. And of course there's a huge target on her back because she's a wealthy billionaire. That's a teenager. The main clue throughout this series is why Avery, because it doesn't make sense. She's never known of this guy before, so why her? And you explore that throughout all 3, but there's so much more to it. With every turn, there's just another mystery that you're trying to figure out and solve. And it's not just like, oh, here's the answer. Okay, everything is complete now. Now we know. No, there are so many secrets that are hidden that you are uncovering with this family, even with her and her family, maybe with her. I don't know. Maybe with her too. There is a little bit of romance in this series as well. It's a little bit of a love triangle with the 2 brothers and Avery. I freaking love Avery. I thought she was a genius. I would recommend this series to literally anyone and everyone. It's such an easy series to just fly through because it's so interesting. Could not put it down. It was so good. So 5-star series for me. It's actually funny because the second one, the Hawthorne Legacy, was my favorite one of the series, but I also loved the Final Gambit, and then the first one was very good as well, but it wasn't my favorite. And last but not least, Mere Christianity. I had this on my TBR that I drew for my TBR jar this month, and I was so sad I did not get it finished. I started it just a few days ago. I have been reading it like here and there, just a nice cleanser. I thought about just going ahead and starting it this month and then carrying it on into next month, but I still wanted to update you guys on this one because technically I did start it, but I didn't finish it. Alright, you guys, these are all the books that I read this month. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!